welcome. We did a little bit of chatting before, but JJR, if you want to introduce yourself and keep flying, then that'd be cool.
Sure, I'm John. I play sax and scream and add ad-libs to my band's music. I'm in the alt rock band Keep Flying, the horn-driven alt rock band Keep Flying from New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, and I'm happy to be here.
Cool stuff.
Cool, we're happy you're here. I want to start straight off, and I know you guys get this question all the time, and I agree with you because I don't think you guys are ska, but I like how you purposely said horn-driven and not ska. How often do you guys get that? Where they'll say, like, you're a ska band.
Most of the members of my band, myself included, have been in ska bands or in some sort of ska influenced band, like our previous bands. In the beginning, I think it was way more getting billed as a ska band, and as the band has continued on in the years, it's less and less. We actually very, very rarely play actual ska shows, I think because they're also far and few. We just never actually end up on those bills. We're always just the band that has horns on a indie rock bill or a pop punk bill or a punk show. We don't actually have any upstrokes in our music, so I can't say that we're a ska band because we don't have that, which is a part of the definition of ska music, is that rhythm, which we don't have. If you take the horns off the tracks, it just sounds like punk rock. If you just the horns. But at the same time, I think in the beginning we were way more like, we don't want to advertise as that because we don't want to be pigeonholed. But now we just don't care. You can call us whatever you want. We just did a run with Real Big Fish. They are a ska band. So you're a ska band. We don't care. You call us what you want. We're happy to be the band that sticks out on most of the time a bill that doesn't have any other horns. So that works for us. So
I agree. I don't know. You guys probably don't know this, or you might not remember this. So when I first started this blog, you were the second band I wrote about. So I had searched.
I was going to mention that. Be like, hey, who was the second band you interviewed?
Yeah, I saw you guys at Revolution, like end of 2018 or maybe end of 2017 even.
That opening for the story so far, or is that pending?
I think it was the patent pending one.
Sure.
And dude, I was blown away because I was like, when I first saw, like, I first researched, looked at just like the lineup you guys had, what instruments you played, and I didn't listen to you prior to the show because I wanted to see what it was like. And what I anticipated from what you guys did, like, blew me away. So what you just said about you guys standing out is, in my opinion, of 100% accurate.
I mean, that's always we always tell people, like, if you haven't listened to the band, we'd prefer if you saw the show first, for sure. Just because I know that we win people over with the live show. Mm-hmm. Our live show is hyper energetic, filled with antics and fun. And, you might not like the music even, but I mean, to tell me that we didn't put a show on or at least make you smile at least once, to me, that baffles me, which it happens very rarely. So,
yeah, I saw you throw up a rainbow scarf at the Paramount. So if that wasn't entertaining to people, then I don't know what.
You saw what?
I saw you throw up a rainbow scarf at the Paramount when you were opening up for Real Big Fish. So
very fun. It's just another part of the program.
Mm-hmm. No, it was great. Like, I've seen videos of it before, and I got tickets for the Real Big Fish. Me and Dan were there.
Yep.
And I was in the pit. And then, I was there in the front, and then I just see you throw up an entire scarf. I was like, "Oh, it's happening!"
Other now for the future, some other quick things that I can do on stage that I'm trying to master while I'm not playing shows. I'm excited about them.
Cool. Can we get an idea of what some of those things might be? Even just one, something crazy that
I interact with
pull a rabbit out of his trunk.
I try to make sure in one set that I interact individually with each member of my band at a different point. Cool. But one thing I normally do with my drummer is there's a part in one of our songs where I hit his ride for him instead of him. I hit his bell where it needs to be played. I have this idea of doing magic where I use the drumstick and then go to the front of the stage and then turn the drumstick and do something else. Maybe It's a flowers. Maybe it's a bird, if it's an outside stage. I don't know, but I'm working on it right now.
Oh,
That's
I
so cool.
love that idea. I'm excited to see what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you have a couple weeks to learn some magic, so you can make like a skill share, like, or something.
Well,
So
just adds to the show. We're all about putting a show on, you know, like if sometimes we use the props and it goes over very well.
Right.
mhm.
So I got a question for you that, I mean, I know you kind of be speaking for most of the band, but what would you guys say is your process for writing your music? Now, like when you think of the type of music you guys are with that heavy punk rock sound, you don't really think horns. So I'm curious to know how you guys incorporate all that and come up with different riffs, or even just come up with the lyrical writing in itself.
So like I said, all of us most of us did bands that had horns with them beforehand. So when writing, we know like certain parts instead of a lead guitar riff, maybe this is where horns could go, or maybe the horns can complement a vocal part, or instead of a guitar harmony, we do a horn harmony with the guitar, things like that. Speaking of like, I'll just speak most recently because we just finished a record. Actually, we have a record done, ready to go.
Cool.
And Henry writes most of the lyrics. We changed a few words here and there, but he always is building a story. A lot of it is very personal to him, but it's vague enough that you'll relate to it as well, which I think he does an amazing job lyrically with our music. Like I know what it's about when he's saying it, but I could also, my personal life, I can relate. And if I can, then any listener can. But yeah, so Henry has had this vision while we were doing Unbreakable. He was working on this next release of songs and story that starts on one side and ends on another side. And he had most of the lyrics ready. We had a lot of the songs. We changed some of them in the studio, but for the most part, when we listened to the demos together, we were able to be like, horns go there. That's a good time for horns. Or we get a horn fill here. Instead of a drum fill, we have the horns do like a 4-note thing.
Right.
And for this newest record, I wrote all the horns, which I'm really proud of. I wrote all the harmonies. We had a friend come in, our friend Sam. It's still tenor and trombone, which is great. That's the sound we love. But I wrote all the harmonies on tenor, and then he just overdubbed, and we replaced it with trombone. And also this time for this record, I actually laid Barry sax, which is my first instrument, but I don't usually play it and keep flying, on every track. It's just splashed in there. It's not every line, but every track has some Barry at different parts where it like just makes it, well, more bassier and louder.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited because the Barry parts make me excited because it's my favorite horn instrument to play. And also when I hear it in other music, it's my favorite thing to hear. So I'm excited for nerds over horn stuff to hear those things. Be like, he put the Barry there. That's great. That's a good.
Oh yeah, that Barry. Let's go.
I think moving forward, once we start playing again, I think that there are a couple songs I may straight up play Barry on.
Cool.
It's more so just like we don't have space in the van to bring it, but like moving forward, I think Candy Cane Forest is a song that would sound better on Barry.
Mm-hmm.
Jamestown is a song that would sound better on Barry. So there's like a couple songs, like even maybe just one song a set where I might play the Barry live, which it's mostly fun for me. And also it gives another thing to look at on stage. It makes people who don't know what the hell is going on be like, this guy's now playing a much larger thing that I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and it's a different like version of the song, kind of, you know. So it's cool. It's cool. It's like, oh hey, like I know this song, but it's like it sounds so much different. Like so, it's cool.
We're excited.
Yeah, very excited for that.
We put flute on 2 tracks of this new record, also.
Really?
Yeah, we have our friend Morgan plays flute with us live sometimes.
Cool.
And we asked her. There's like 2 parts, the end of this song and then this like part that comes later. Like, could you come in and record flute? She was there for an hour and we knocked it out. I think it sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. I feel like everyone goes like super crazy for Morgan too. Like on stage, she's like, "All right, here's Morgan." Everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's a flute!" So
yeah, rocks. And she's a classic trained, flautist or flute player, and then she's playing these shit punk rock songs with us, and it's awesome. I'm honored to have her there.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, I love especially how you guys have like a whole team kind of that goes with you in every show.
No, it's just another thing. They got some other jackass up there on stage playing some other crazy thing. What the hell is that about?
He's like, what are they going to pull out next? It's like, great.
So we had our buddy Nick play accordion on a song. No one understood why. Neither do I, honestly. He asked, and I said, yeah, sounds great. So we'll leave it at that.
And then the day of, you're like, wait, why are you here again?
We didn't rehearse. He was like, I got the song, don't worry. And that was it. We played. And that was it.
I have the song on Spotify, don't worry.
I like that. You have a lot of trust in him. I like that.
I've known him for years. We used to be in bands together since we were teens. So I trusted him like I do most, especially people who tell me, I know this one song. Can I get up there and rip? I'm like, yeah, man, you're going to add to the show. Just get up here and play. We don't care.
Cool. I love that.
So,
so you were talking about going live. So I have a question for you. I have seen you guys play live many times, and you have a stage presence that's like a force to be reckoned with, especially with Long Island, because there's some Long Island bands that really kill it, and then you guys take it another step further. So how do you like do it day in and day out of just like going nuts on stage all the time? Like, especially you, like you are from every show I've seen, you are moving across the stage the entire time.
I don't know any other way to perform. For me, I don't really have a workout plan. My exercise is that 30-minute set, that 40-minute set, that 20-minute set. That's my exercise. And it's the only way I've ever performed in every band I've been in. And it's always worked. So I have no reason to change it. People are always what you just said. People are always like, that was crazy.
Yeah.
It adds to the show. The fact that the whole band is able to go off as hard as they go off, and we're still able to perform the songs at, in my opinion, about 80 to 85% accurate. We do goof off and mess up sometimes, but when you're having that much energy, it's expected. But we're still at 80, 85%. And to me, having the live show at 120% energy with 85% of the actual sound, that's good enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially you have like people who can like add to it, like the crowd and everyone is like singing the words. So it's like, all right, cool.
No question. When it is much harder when we're playing new cities where people are standing or like trying to figure out what's going on, because when you don't have the energy coming back at you, it's hard to keep putting it out. But like not just the Northeast, we have plenty of cities that we play in that feel like home shows. When the crowd goes crazy back, it refires us up to want to put out more. And then the same with each other. When I go over and I'm pumping Henry up during a part that he's singing, then all of a sudden I look over while I'm playing and he does a guitar flip. Now he's pumping me back up. I'm like re-excited to like, okay, I can't wait. And I'm just blessed that everyone in my band has the urgency to perform at that kind of energy. I'm very blessed because it could be not that way. We could have a member of the band who just stands around. Luckily, we don't, because it would be awkward. I don't know where it comes from, though. That energy just comes from deep inside. Anger from things throughout my life, or from that things that have bummed me out for the day, or things that are making me anything that's just giving me any sort of feelings for the day. I take it all out in the show. After the show, I feel nothing but ecstasy. I'm sweating. I'm tired. They say like salt water is a very massive de-stressor, whether it be tears or sweat or the ocean. Those are three things. They drain you. You're working out, you're drained. You're crying, you're drained. You're swimming and in the sun, you're drained. You're tired after. So I do feel that way. And when we're performing at that kind of rate after the show, man, that's it for me. I feel my job's done. I feel great. A couple people tell me that was awesome. They were stoked. I feel good. I can go to bed.
Cool.
That's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because I remember, what was it, at the I think I first saw you guys at South Shore Alley Fest, which is a bowling alley.
Yep.
It was like 30, 40 bands, I think, in between two stages. And I remember there was a bunch of people like on the stage that you guys were at, and I just see like everyone like I'm pretty sure you threw like your instrument like across the stage somewhere. So it's cool like how like you put out your energy and it also like comes back at you. So
That show was awesome.
it was so much fun.
Great.
Yeah,
That
I think
festival.
I think I was there for like most, if not the entire day. So
Yeah,
it was
me and
cool.
my friend John Stengel and I helped. We curated that festival, which we were planning to do again this year, but
Yeah.
clearly,
No, my favorite was my favorite. You guys like had a whole like theme. You guys all came out in costumes. Like even like all of your like production crew was in costume. I was like, this is amazing. I love it.
just another one of those things that it keeps the show unique.
Hmm.
You know, that weekend of shows in particular, we all were in white because we had just
Yeah.
released a video for Miranda, which
Hmm.
has this cult-like theme going on, almost like a Guilty Remnant from The Leftovers vibe with everyone wearing white, and it worked. And everyone, you know,
Hmm.
some of our fans and friends came dressed up in all white. It adds to the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Having our couple of guys in the band who are, you know, we consider them members even though they're not playing on stage with us, also in the all white. It adds to the show. At this past release show, we all wore the Crew Unbreakable, like black and white, keep flying shirts. It just made it more uniform.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know, it
Hmm.
made it individual and unique, and I'll never forget that now. You
Hmm.
know, I'm wearing the shirt
Yeah,
right
I
now.
was gonna comment that too. Like during the Unbreakable release show, everyone had like the staff shirts on. Like that was amazing. I love that so much. It was like, oh, I want to be a part of the staff. Like, oh, yeah.
I feel
So
like
it's cool. It like adds like a different kind of like piece to every show, and it's just like a cool little thing to remember during each like set. So
We try to do that because otherwise it's just the same thing over and over. Why would you want that? That sounds bad to me. I've seen bands that I love play the same set, the
yep.
same on-stage stuff, even the ssame on-stage banter.
Hmm.
It's very discouraging for me.
That's a big pet peeve of mine. The same onstage banter is like the worst. That's a big pet peeve of mine.
Like I saw this already. I even saw the in-between talk. It's the same.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
You couldn't have even changed up the order of the songs, please? Anything.
mm-hmm. It's like,
So,
I really love Connecticut, but you're actually like playing a New York like venue or something.
you know, it's like, especially when you have fans who drive and see you in multiple places.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, we've seen you 4 times on this tour. Oh, I want to definitely play a different set every show then, first of all.
Right.
Second of all, we got to change it up. Let's just straight up ask these people what songs they want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
We know all the songs. What do you want to hear? We'll play whatever. We've played some wacky sets before. Based
Like,
off
by that, do you mean covers or your own original?
like just all requests. We've played sets where we're like 8 people want to hear a song, so whatever 8 songs they want, that's what we'll play. And then all of a sudden we're not playing Safety Harbor or High Cholesterol, 2 of our bigger songs, because they were not asked of us.
Okay.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
we've done that before, you know?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people know it. So it's like if you play stuff from your earlier releases that people like from the get-go were there for and they want to hear it, then like it's cool. So
Yeah. Dude,
That's why we're excited to get the next record out, so that we have more songs in the bank, so that we're able to change the set list even more. It'll be even more like different from city to city, especially when we're going from Long Island to Asbury Park, where it's actually 30 of the same people coming to both shows, you know?
mm-hmm.
Right.
That's awesome. That's cool.
So speaking of the new material, are you guys just waiting until this whole quarantine and Corona stuff is done, or are you going to try to do some things during it?
We got the masters. I started the artwork today.
Cool.
Our friend Chris, who does a lot of artwork for us, AdMat and merch-wise. He's very excited, and I'm now also excited after the call that we had. The release was originally going to be in August, and it was going to be at the release shows in particular was going to be this year's second South Shore Alley Fest, which is just very unlikely.
Right.
The plan now is we will start releasing first single of the record you can expect in and likely at the end of June.
Cool.
And a second single to follow either maybe the end of July or beginning of August. It really depends. We don't want to release the record until we know we can at least be doing some sort of live music.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whether just regional shows elsewhere, or even if we're able to do like the south of the US, or New York and California are going to be the last things back. So we know that, which is fine. We'll wait for our big release show to be when we're allowed to do shows on Long Island.
Mhm.
But I think that as soon as we have a better idea that like small touring, regional touring can happen, that's when we're going to say, okay, cool. We can have the record come out September or
Right.
October. We'd really like it out sooner than later because we're ready, because it's done.
Mhm.
And we want to move on from the last record and positively to the next music. Because I think our community is also ready for that. The last release was only 3 songs, like that's
Yeah.
not enough. So
How many tracks are on this new one?
this is an 8-track EP. It really is 6 songs. Spoiler alert, there is what you would consider an intro and an outro track,
Cool.
which make up the 7th and 8th track of the record. It is 8 tracks though, but there are 6 in between those bookends. There are 6 songs that have beginnings and ends with words and horns and etc.
Words and horns and drums. And
There is some classic KF sounding songs. There are 2 songs that are very different from our catalog that we're very excited about.
Like different in how so? Or do you not want to reveal that for the surprise?
Different, and there's a song that is straight up on there that is a completely different style of music. And we're very excited for people to hear it. And we were going to draw no attention to it until the record comes out and people go, what? That was crazy. I hope that people like it. And then there's another song that is stripped back and also very different from anything we've recorded. But it ends standard KF, if that makes sense. I don't want to like really say exactly what it is because those 2 tracks specifically are different and aren't singles, and we want people to hear them when the record comes out so we can get an authentic response on. This record is like some classic, what I expected, and some completely not. The way the record ends, the last 2 tracks is very different from anything we've done, which I think is cool. But
That's
it
awesome.
also opens up our world. This is going to be our 4th and final EP in this series of EPs we've been doing. After this release, we're looking to finally move on and have our first full-length record, 2021, let's say.
Cool.
We wanted to end this EP cycle with, okay, the band has left us in a place that's like, they could give us anything on this full length. We don't know what they're going to write. Let's find out.
That's cool.
Like that.
For the first time ever with KF Music, all of the voices of the band are on the recordings, myself included. Charlie is an amazing singer, and he's been singing live, especially since our trombone player left the band. Since August, he's been like taking over a lot of vocal responsibility. So he's finally spotlight on there, as well as our bass player Chuck. He's crushing these high harmonies live every show, and now he's on there singing all of the harmonies of the record for the most part, and he hits some high notes, and it's really cool. So this is the first KF release that we feel really good about because it has all of the voices of the band.
Everyone's represented. I like that.
Everyone's represented. Henry is clearly our lead singer and the bulk of the vocals, which is what you want because, his voice is amazing. So we're excited about that. We're all featured on there. There's a lot of cool bass guitar stuff, some cool guitar leads. I'm really, really proud of the horns. I think they're awesome horn lines and hooks. Spent a lot of time working on them. I'm glad my friend Sam could come in. He lives in Philly. Sam Gellerstein. I've known him for years and years as just like a kid who played trombone, and now he's a professional trombone player. So he came in, knocked it out of the park. I think it sounds awesome. And then Rick played a little trumpet on 2 songs, and we have flute on 2 songs by Morgan. So excited.
Cool.
Mhm.
I think we're all excited.
Mhm. Yeah, it's cool, especially since oh, sorry, go ahead.
As the time goes on here, we're gonna drop some things. Like we'll probably drop the title of the record. The single's gonna come. Maybe like a zoom in of the art. Like we're gonna start teasing the record very soon. We're still really excited about this live record that's coming out. And it's like 90 something copies left. So like the rest of this month is still us pushing that, especially since it's arriving to Smart Punk in about a week. And then we'll see them finally. And then people who've pre-ordered are going to start receiving them. So like, that's still very exciting for us. So we're like still riding that until June. So in hopes that it sells out before we even announce the new record. That's the plan. So
that's awesome. That's so cool.
That's
excited.
awesome.
I have like exactly 90 something copies of the live record that we recorded from the release show in December at AMH, and like 103 copies of Unbreakable, and then that's it for now.
Damn.
They'll be out of press, and then we can leave those releases and move to the future with this new record, which is going to be I'd say the first pressing is going to be out of 600, and it's going to have the same thing we did with Unbreakable, where there's going to be a limited pressing of 100 that's exclusive to the release show. For sure.
Yeah, I like how it's very what is it called? It's very kind of like it's permanent, but it's also not. So it's like this is how many we're making, and then that's it. You can take it or leave it, kind of.
Oh, for the live album, yeah. For the live album, we just were like, this is a crazy thing for a band our size to do, but the audio came out that good enough that let's just do this because people like that we press vinyl. And I think it'll work. I mean, we moved 200 units out of the 300. I think 300 was the right number because I think that is the amount that's the amount of people that we have who are interested in collecting our records and actually owning physical vinyl. And Smart Punk, we do it with Smart Punk. They pay for the cost of the pressing up front. So it's, nothing to us. And I mean, yeah, we're down to less than 100. So as predicted, it actually sold much faster than we thought it was going to sell that first week. We were blown away. I was like jumping up and down in my living room, freaking my mom out. every 5 minutes I was getting an update.
What are you doing?
Sold another 12. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like unexpected, like first day number. Like didn't expect to move 100 units in 24 hours,
Good for you guys. Congratulations. That's awesome.
For us, man, we're a small band. That's the coolest thing I've ever done in my musical career.
So actually, I had some questions about that too. So I was going to say, wanted to ask you about Warped Tour. You don't think that was one of the coolest things? Because I feel like Warped Tour for so many bands is such a dream. I was just curious.
Our band playing?
Yeah, when you guys playing Warped Tour.
100%. That was that until the Unbreakable release show in December. That was by far the best show we ever played.
Yeah.
Now, which did you like better, the one at Jones Beach or the one in Atlantic City?
Okay, that is again. Those are
like, why'd you do this?
Right.
Asbury was awesome because it was an honor to be a part of the last Warped, and it was also an honor to open up a bigger stage where people were in, and it was outside. And since that show, we've had tons of people, not just in the Northeast, but all over, come to our shows and tell us, we saw you at there. We walked in, you were the first band we saw, and you guys won us over.
Same thing happened to me. I mean, I had seen you guys prior, but I walked right in and you guys were right there.
So that's great. That was an honor, and I was really proud of myself and my bandmates right after that set. I felt really untouchable. I felt like we are the best. That was so awesome. However, the 2018 set was, for lack of better wordage, fucked up. We chose to play in the tent. We were told we could play on one of the small stages. And we said, no, thank you. We're going to play in the tent that these the DIY guys have set up with the little PA and generator. And I'm so glad we did because we were lucky enough that day. I asked in production if we could not play again. And it's shunned upon, but it's the only set we were playing for we did that in Massachusetts. I was like, if we cannot play against anyone bigger, that'd be awesome if you can make that work. And they did me that favor. And so we just had that sweet spot window where there were a lot of people who had nothing else going on. And I couldn't see the back. There were so many people.
Yeah, I would say.
You couldn't see the back of people. And then afterwards, there were friends of mine telling me that was so awesome to see how people went off for you. And again, we had people who came in from all over, not just Long Island, who normally attend that Warp Date from other states who are our friends and fans who we asked, please be at this set. It's like so important that this set just goes off, and everybody killed it. Everybody did their job. Us and our community, everybody went off, and I'll never be more. That was such another proud and exciting moment to
yeah,
get part of.
dude, I love that you guys were in that tent actually, because it really gave that like family vibe. You know, it gave like that true like keep flying as a family. They're not just a band that's trying to make money. You know, it really showed the community support. And everything about that stage, it was a tent in the middle of like fucking nowhere against the fence, and like you wouldn't even knew it was there. And still, there was so many people there watching you guys.
Mm-hmm.
People all day asking Rick at our merch tent, we don't even know where the tent is. Where is it?
Yeah.
We can't. And he'd be like, oh, it's over there behind the other thing and like in between that other thing. Oh, okay, we'll try and find it. Yeah, I mean, KF is definitely like, we want to keep our shows as intimate as we can for absolutely as long as we can. It is more important to us to play. It's more important to us to play in a setting like that than it is to play like it's amazing when we get the opportunities to open for these larger national bands or international bands where we're playing big rooms on big stages. Absolutely floored. Appreciate every opportunity we get. But when we're able to go back to the basements and the libraries and the coffee shops and the non-sanctioned places that aren't venues that we find out has never had a show before and never had a show after us, it just means so much more, you know?
Right.
We played loading dock the last time we played South by Southwest. We played out the back of a loading dock of a screen printing place that doesn't do shows, and the cops came during our set and shut it down, like right at the end of our set because it was just too many people outside in a parking lot that it's just not supposed to be shows happening. I'll never forget it. It was awesome. A friend of mine was trying to tell me that the cops were there. I didn't know what he was saying. We just kept playing. So I felt bad after.
Like, what? Like dive into the crowd? What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We'll definitely keep it going. That's why That's why South Shore Alley Fest became a thing at the East Side Lanes. I've been doing shows there for over 15 years since I was a teen.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Barbara still allows us to do shows there, we were like, me and John were like, we want to curate some sort of festival, but we should do it at the Lanes and just keep it OG, keep it like DIY and that kind of vibe. And it worked, and it will continue to work. And those are always the shows we're looking forward to the most. The ones that my bandmates are like, where are we playing? Oh, there's a show in there? Or we get to the place and we're like looking at it and we're like, how are we going to fit there? And we're like, we'll make it work.
Set 20 people in here.
We'll figure it out. Couple basement
like Tetris.
shows.
You just kind of like fit everyone.
Pipes. Happens. You know, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Makes for a good show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's cool. Awesome.
Veronika, I'm passing it to you for a minute.
Oh my goodness. All right. All right. So I recently watched your like IGTV show, and I want to know whose Shiba Inu that was.
Barley's, our guitar player.
Okay, great.
Name is Buzz after Buzz Lightyear.
That's amazing. Yeah, I saw. Like, I know you only had him for like a split second, but I was like, can I just? It's great.
Charlie's little Buzz. He loves him. They hang out together. And we're off tour. They're like inseparable.
Amazing. Love it.
He made sure to get a shot with Buzz in there. I'm glad he did.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I watched it the other day, and it was literally for like, I don't even know, for like a split second. And I was like, wait, there's a dog right here.
Those clips are like 3 seconds or less because we all took like way too many videos, and then Jesse did his best effort, which I think was actually awesome, in editing as many of them as he could
Mhm.
into what that Misbehave video ended up becoming.
Yeah, it's cool. I like how it was like it was kind of like a I don't know, like a FaceTime call or anything. So it was very like, I know like we're very limited in like what we have to like produce content and everything, but it was cool. Like it was
He
awesome.
wanted to do it horizontal, but we as a band were like, we actually think we should just do a vertical video. Like, let's just do vertical, and just like we'll put that in the description that it is a vertical video, so that like you know if you're watching on a computer that why it looks weird. But most people are on their phones, so it worked.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Watching on my phone, I'm like, this just looks great. I'm so glad that it's vertical. But also, we had like 4 different ideas for a Misbehave video over the last 2 years, and none of them came into fruition. And this was actually Henry's idea, and I'm glad it worked out because now we have another video for our songs done. We actually only have one song that doesn't have a music video, and it's being currently made right now, and it's for Jamestown off of Walkabout. Every other song we have has a music video, which is cool.
Yo, that's
more
amazing.
pop artist rap thing. Like rappers and pop artists have that, like a video for every song. And like 2 years ago, I said, I want a video for every song. From here on out, I want a video for every song. I think it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the plan. We're almost caught up. One more, and then we'll be even.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Especially you have like a different kind of like we're in very strange times, but it's cool that you guys can like utilize different like ways of like making music videos and all that. So it's cool. So,
Jamestown is actually going to end up being like puppets and not claymation, but like still animation. It's an animated video.
Cool.
Follow your nightmares, but this is different. This is more. I don't know. I can't even explain it. Our friend is working on it right now. She's already been working on it for like 2 months, and she told me yesterday like it's probably gonna be like 2 or 3 more months because it's a lot of work. She's doing a lot of work on this.
It's like stop motion or can you not say?
It's like stop motion and puppets also, and some other stuff. She's got like a couple different things happening. I saw her artwork and I asked her, would you ever want to do a video like this for our band? And she was like, I would love to. It would just take me a really long time. And I was like, well, we got a song that we have no concept for video-wise, so you could take it as long as you want with it if you want to do that. She said yes, and so we're just letting her roll with it. So hopefully by the end of summer, that'll be up and we'll be moved on.
Wow. It's amazing how much stuff you guys have lined up for a time where so many bands are like up in the air, like wondering what they're going to do, and you guys just went with it. I love it.
Oh, I have like things planned out for the next 2 years, which it sounds psychotic, but it's also like I need it so that I have like dates to look forward to and like goals. Otherwise, I'll become lethargic with the band. So like there's like 2 years worth of stuff. A lot of it is like all the ideas, but no necessary like date because we can't really formulate the calendar until we know we're allowed to do things. But as far as like the content, that is all set up for like the next 9 months plus.
Oh, damn.
We have videos, concepts for every song on the new record already. We're already like, they're all done already. All the concepts are made. We know what we're doing. We just have to implement them all, which is exciting.
Yeah, it's good to know you guys aren't just wasting your time during this quarantine. That's awesome that you have so much material.
In fact, it's very likely that we're actually thinking we might hop back in the studio next month for a couple days to do another that we were planning on doing, but not until the end of this year. But now that we were supposed to be on tour all of May and June, we're not. So how can we make use of our time? We're thinking about hopping in the studio about 6 months early from the next thing that we were going to do. When I said we were done with EPs after this release, I guess I lied because we do have another release that's going to come out, that EP, before the full length, but it's just a very different kind of thing.
It's fine. It keeps us on our toes. It's like, is it an EP? Is it an album? Is it a live stream? Or
this is going to be it's going to be a covers record, but of our own songs. So I don't want to say too much more than that, but we're recomposing songs right now. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But it's just going to be another really cool thing that I think a lot of bands our size are going to be like, I can't believe you also did this. Like, I can't believe you keep doing things. But for us, it's like, why not? We're off all June now. Half of us are getting unemployment, not working.
Right.
Let's hit the studio for 4 days, and we can bust this out because we've been talking about it for months now. So that's likely to happen in June, which means it just means everything's gonna come out sooner than it was planned.
Right.
So,
Oh, that's exciting.
I'm excited to dump this content out. I wish that I could see what 18 months from now is with all of this out already and how people care or don't care. I wish I knew what things people are going to be like, that is cool, and what things people are going to be like, that's fine. I don't know, but we're trying lots of stuff. So I'm just excited to see what the end result ends up being.
Right now, the track record for the band, I think everything you guys do, people fall in love with. So I think you have a good chance people are going to love all the new shit too.
I hope so. I'm really confident that people are going to love the new song. I'm really confident about that. When I put the songs on in the car, man, I'm fired up on these songs. I can't even think backwards to our current music. I'm like, these songs are the songs. They're awesome. Getting a little teary-eyed. Like, we're really proud of this, man.
These songs are so good. I just want to share them.
We're ready. And but we don't. I've seen bands put records out during this quarantine, and it just falls flat. If you don't have any like shows and like ways to market, people don't have money, so like you're not like it's not the right thing for us. Singles, sure, but like the record release, we need to know that we're able to play shows just to be able to hype it up and keep the momentum.
Yeah, of course.
So a lot of bands you're gonna see. As soon as they announce that shows can happen places, you're going to see all of a sudden just like way too many records coming out. I can tell you for a fact, a lot of Friends records are done, and they're just holding them now. They're just waiting.
Yeah.
It's like a We're Back show or something, or like
a lot of fans are waiting on releasing their records because we've seen a few come out and it doesn't work that well.
Right.
Yeah. It's like.
Well, it's gonna be an exciting time for music then.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be overflowed with stuff. For us, it doesn't really matter because we're a different sounding kind of band, so I don't think it impedes us too bad. Like, there could be 30 other records come out the same day. Our people are so particular people that I think we're fine.
Right.
7 metal records and 3 pop punk records and a 16 indie rock records. I don't think are gonna impede our record coming out. I don't think, but I could be horribly wrong. I won't know until it happens. So again, I wish I could see the future, but we'll just have to kind of play it by ear. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So I have another question. Do you have any like specific kind of bands that you would love to open up for, or like what like that's like on your bucket list, or you kind of just like let's see what happens.
Oh, we'll open for any band. That's the KF. The KF way is we will open for any show. We do not care. We will open for Knock Loose again, or we would open for Falling in Reverse, or we would open for, we'd love to open up for Stay Champs again, our friends, Story So Far, clearly 4 Year, who I work for. Hopefully Set Your Goals does shows again in the future. We can open up for them, old friends of mine.
That would be awesome.
The newer bands, like we'd love to do stuff with Hot Mulligan. Like they're like newer friends of the band. But we love to play more hardcore shows.
Do you have like a bucket list band that you haven't played with yet that like you would just love to play with?
My dream show would be opening for Weird Al Yankovic.
That's amazing.
Fine. If I could open for Weird Al Yankovic, I don't know that I'd even be able to perform because I think I might pass out. Pass out. And I've passed out on stage twice. This would be the 3rd time. The Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, I think across the board for our band would be like an honor to open up one of their hometown throwdown shows in Massachusetts. We're doing 4-chord with Blink. That got moved to next year. I believe that's going to happen again the same way with the same lineup. So we'll be able to do that for a lot of members of my band. Opening for Blink 182 is like a really big thing. They're really, really excited.
I saw 4-chord announce they're going to throw on some additional bands as well.
Yeah, because there might be some changes. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to Rishi directly, but I know he got a bulk of the same bands. He may have gotten all, and he may be adding some, or there may have been a couple that he can't make work. I don't know.
Right.
That's awesome.
Opening for, having anything to do with Green Day would be one of my guys' dreams. Charlie's dream. If we were able to open for Andrew McMahon in any capacity, that would be Henry's. He loves everything Andrew McMahon. He loves that person. So I think if we can open for any of those projects, that would be amazing. And I'd love to just be included on more mixed bills. I'd love to be the band that stands out on other shows. I'm always the first one to be like, I'd love to hop on this if we could. Oh, you don't really fit in with the rest of the bands. Yeah, we don't care.
Right.
Like for us, that's exciting because then hopefully we win over some new minds. I'm always down for that. So I would like to see more mixed bills. I'd like to see more of that.
Cool.
Awesome.
I mean, we're praying to God that Les and Jake wants to take us on tour. Now that we did this Real Big Fish thing, we want them to take us out. We're praying for that because come on, that would just be
That would be
perfect. Perfect for us. Perfect. They're funny on stage. We're funny on stage. I think their fans will freaking love us. The Real Big Fish fans loved us. It went over great. We love to do that with Les and Jake.
And Les and Jake has more of that like more punk style than Real Big Fish.
No question.
You guys.
Some of their songs have no ska in them. Like no question. We love that. And then the same thing. I'm hoping that my friends and employers in 4-year, at some point in the next year and a half, do some headliner and let us open properly instead of, we've opened for them before, but just like a couple one-offs here and there. Love to do a full tour. Same thing. Their fans are a little older. I think they'd really like it. And then
Weed was one of my favorite bands back in high school. I still love them. That new album is amazing.
Their best record, in my opinion, that they've ever made. And then, we'd love to get in with these like newer bands, these like, emo, indie rock, punk bands, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
The Graduating Life, the Mom Jeans, the Hot Mulligan, this whole era of bands, which I respect all those people, and I think that they're all doing a great job. I love seeing how DIY a lot of those bands are, even though they're on labels or have like teams behind them. They're still very hands-on with their fans. I think that's really important. They're very in tune with their community. I don't feel like they're taking advantage or ripping people off at any time. So I'd love to get, have a little more embrace in that world, but we'll do whatever. We'll go out with anybody that wants to have us, because to us, that means a lot that you'd even consider us. It's how we felt when we went out with Home Safe this past couple months ago. Like, we've been friends with them for a while, but for them to actually ask us meant a lot, It's like, thanks for considering us. We really do appreciate being here. We love to be here. And we smoked it every night, so I'm glad we went. We killed it every night.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah.
So we've had.
I'm just hoping
for just anything.
Say it.
You say you were hoping. Is that what you said?
I'm hoping for any support stuff. We will always keep playing our own headline shows and like paired up with friends, bands, like small stuff. But we're clearly at that point where we need like to play in front of new people and like win over more people. That's why we're really appreciative that Real Big Fish took us out on that run. We're hoping for more of that, and we would do that with literally any band, any genre. Give me a Wake War tour. We're there for $50 a night. We're there opening. We will bust our ass on stage at doors, trying to win over people who are there for a completely different kind of music. We're down, man. Like, we're so down, and we don't care where the shows are. We'll haul our asses there. No questions asked. We just want to play. Yeah. So that's what I'm hoping for.
We've had you for like almost an hour, so I don't want to keep you all night. But I'm curious with what you were saying. Like you want these new fans. You want to win people over. If you had a message, not for your current fans, but to draw more people in, what would you say to get new people to listen to you? Because there's a lot of people that follow this blog that strictly follow it for more of the reggae rock stuff we do, or strictly follow it because we do a lot of hardcore music.
Mhm.
I am a firm believer that anybody who likes music will like you guys. So how do you want to portray that to everybody else?
Give us a chance. What's the reason not to? What is the point? What is the reason you wouldn't at least give it a shot? If you like live music, you love live music, or you like listening to music in some capacity, give it a shot. If you put on the music and you don't necessarily love it or it's not connecting with you, at least give us a chance live. I promise you're going to leave feeling happier than you were when you got there. I promise. If you don't, tell me. Please tell me so that I can figure out how that's possible and I can make sure I bust my ass. I work harder because that is not good enough for me. I got to know that everybody left a little bit happier. That's really it. I don't want to convince somebody. If you're down, give it a try.
I think exactly what you just said will convince anybody who needed that little push. I think you just will win everybody over with that.
Yeah, that's all I say, I don't know. That's it.
Oh yeah.
Just go dance around. It's great.
Come to the show. Come to the show if you're not convinced. Just come. Yeah. Come to one of the smaller shows, and I promise you. I promise.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you, dude. Thank you so much for sitting on with us for an hour. We really appreciate it, man. Even though
I had a great.
We didn't get to go live like I had hoped for, I appreciate you sticking through.
Doesn't matter. Just means I can promote it harder whenever it does go up. All good.
Exactly.